Hey guys, how you doing? Gavin Timms with REI Network. Super excited. I have a new guest with me. Harry King. I'm going to bring him on here in a second. Just before if you're watching us guys on YouTube, like and subscribe below. Drop us a comment. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And I really, really appreciate it. Give us any feedback, good or bad, no problem. Also, before we get going, go ahead and go to reinetwork.com/downloads. Got some free downloads for you if you haven't already, and go and get them. Right. So, Harry, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
No, I appreciate it. So, guys, this is how this came about. This is super random. Okay. We have zero preparation for this. I've just done an accountability call with our clients in the accountability program, which is Harry is one. And I was like, hey, I want to do a podcast. Does anyone want to get on? And Harry was like, sure, I'll get on. No problem. So here we are, Harry.
You needed a guinea pig, and I was more than happy to help you.
Absolutely.
You've helped me a lot, so least I can do.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Before we get into kind of what we've been doing in the accountability program, how that's been going, tell us a little bit about you, Harry. Where are you from? What do you do? How long have you been doing this? Give us a bit of a background.
I'm a native New Yorker, an IT geek who traveled around the country, ended up settling in Chicago for a good while. And just recently, 5 months ago, I moved down to Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
I have about 10 years of banking behind me, of which I retired from. That led me to doing about a few years of short sales. Very hard short sales in the past when they took 6 months to a year. I took a couple of years off, and now I'm back to get into the business.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, and I'm learning things about you, Harry, as we go here. But the good thing is with short sales is that you know how to be patient, right? So there's a lot that we can take into that. And I agree. Short sales, I do have friends that love them. They're not for me. I can't deal with the weight of it. But you can take a lot of obviously what we talked about in today's call with regarding the follow-up, at least knowing that, you know, the persistence of that, the consistency of it to actually get deals done. So I think you can take positives from what you've done in the past into the investing that you're doing right now.
The short sales, I had a staff of negotiators that worked for me, as well as several realtors and several attorneys. And we worked very well together. Deals would take 6 months to a year. So a lot of patience.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in Ohio now. Okay, and that's where you're doing your investing. What made you get into the accountability program? Why did you do that?
I had been following Joe a little bit all the way through, and he had the 30-day marketing, which in all my businesses before, I never had to market. The work was there. So I didn't know how to market. So I learned a little bit about that. And then I just went through, I think we're in the 4th week of, what is it, talk to 5 sellers a day, 3 offers a day.
Yep.
So I'm just at the tail end of that. And a couple of days ago, I signed up for the simple lease options.
Nice. Okay. Great. So with the accountability, program, the way that we wanted to set this up and the people in the group is that we wanted to obviously hold people accountable, right? So we offered $500 if you make your 3 offers a day, 5 days a week, which is 15 offers a week, 60 offers in a month, and you get your 500 back. And are you on track for that?
Yeah, I am on track. I've actually, the first week I was a crazy man, all day until midnight. The last offer would go out at 1:45. It's okay, I can go to bed now. And that was my first week.
Yeah.
It's got down to the point now that I'm working 4 days a week, putting in about 5 hours, and I'm doing, okay, I'll do 4 offers a day. That's 16. Okay, I'm on track. I'm trying to pretend I'm a normal person.
Absolutely. I think that's what we're going to call this podcast, a crazy man to a normal person, something along the lines of that. Because, and I think that's really interesting though, that obviously through the structure of the program and you've been on the calls and participating, you've actually understood through learning and creating habits that we were talking about, right? Changing habits.
Yes.
Your daily habits needs to change. And once you do that consistently, you go from a crazy person, right? You're running around in 500 directions. You're trying to learn everything. You're trying to implement everything. But when we actually broke that down, tried to keep it simple, okay? And now, obviously, you've got that. You feel now more under control. You're working less, and you're still being able to get them offers out.
I do. I've learned what I can do. That 30-day marketing, there was a lot there for somebody who's never marketed before. I picked up what I could do. At the moment, I'm working with the free marketing from Zillow, Redfin, doing the scraping solutions to pull that information down. That's where my
Yep.
leads come from. I'm
Yep.
working primarily with FSBOs. Matter of fact, I hate to admit this, but while you were talking before on the other one, I was doing a little scraping.
I don't mind that.
A couple more programs that we can multi-process.
Absolutely. You know, you
Yeah.
see me working. Obviously, I'm still traveling. I'm in the coffee shop. I'm outside. My battery's about to die, so I'm inside trying to plug in, and still while talking. But we got through it. We made it happen. Okay, great. So you're doing this now. You just joined obviously the lease option program, so that's kind of what you want to focus on. That's why you are focusing on lease options with Zillow. What's the biggest challenge right now for you? What do you need help with most?
Probably the follow-up. I know 80 to 85% of the deals come from follow-up. I've not concentrated on follow-up. I've concentrated on get my offers out, try and get into a regular schedule. I'm looking at probably next week, I'm going to have 60 plus people to talk to of offers that are out there. Some of them have said, yeah, let's do this. Okay. I wasn't ready to do that yet.
Well, that's good.
To be
That's
honest,
the point.
yeah.
No, but taking massive action, right? You have to get in.
I didn't have the contracts I needed. I do now from Rocket Lawyer or something out there, and from the simple options. Okay, I now have the contracts and agreements as well as REI Simple. I've been using that quite a bit. I've been learning that, digging into it. I now feel more confident. From my background as a bank, you need the paperwork. I was at the point where I need paperwork.
Yep.
I need to give them something.
Yep. So you've been making offers. So now the follow-up's going to come up. So how are you going to handle that? How are you going to attack that next week? You got 60 offers. What's the game plan going into these 60 offers? What is your thought process right now?
My thought process is to go back a couple of weeks and start with the last 2 weeks, the freshest, and touch base with everybody, talk to them. I'll probably start by calling them. And if I don't get through to them, I'll send them a text message. But I want to get to every single person. Yes, they're interested. No, they're not. If not, why not? If not right now, maybe later. Let's get something set up there. But I want to get to every single person.
Absolutely. Okay. And how are you trying to break these down daily?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to have to. If I have 60 of them, in order to keep working on the program, the simple lease options, that's going to be demanding. The little bit I've seen so far, that'll be demanding. And I need to do the two. But I know the follow-up is what's going to make me the money right now.
100%. 100% agree. Well, the thing though that we need to do, okay, this is important, is that I think you should do the oldest first. Okay. So you start with the oldest first, when you first made offers. And let's say that you're going to try and still make 3 to 4 offers every day. Okay. Let's try and do 3 to 4 follow-ups every day.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Okay. So, because you don't want to come in and get super overwhelmed by doing too much. So you want to try and do it so it becomes now again a habit.
Yeah,
okay.
I passed that point to becoming very overwhelmed. I was a crazy person. And one day, nope, that's enough. Stop.
Yep.
Thought about what I was doing, planned out my day.
Yep. So I think that's maybe the attack that we should go at. Okay, is instead of going 60 and just attacking it from everywhere, let's go with the oldest first, or let's go with obviously the warmest first, right? You could say, and then let's just take a portion a day that you feel that you can handle, and then build on that. And if you can do 4 quickly and you want to do 4 more, then great. Do whatever it is that you can kind of handle. Does that make sense?
It does. They're the warm ones were probably the first ones I'd like to hit. The
Yep.
ones that, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, they're one person signed, but not a deal I want to do, but I want to get an offer out there. But okay. Well, I'll talk to him. You never know. Maybe it can be turned around to a good deal.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Why is it not a deal?
He was somebody that he really wanted me to buy the property. And I said, no, I can offer lease option. That's what's available, where we can put somebody in there for a couple of years, and I'll be assigning the contract to them, and they're going to buy it at a set price, and they're going to pay you whatever the rent is that we decided. He wanted 15% down immediately. I
Right.
said, okay, that could be a problem. Let's talk about it. And we're at that stage.
Okay.
I'm used to talking to people from being in short sales and all sorts of frames of mind. So I need to see what happens. If we can work this out to something that's reasonable, I'll be able to help you. If not, okay, it's not something that's going to work for me. Maybe later.
Yeah, which is amazing because, and again, we've never spoken. I know you've been on every call that we've done, and you're active, but we have not actually had a conversation. And what is amazing, just listening to you talk, you do have, when we talk about the sales side, you just have a very calming to your voice. Does that make sense? You're very, you bring in, and you can just calm the situation down, which is a unique thing to you that I've already picked up on. Where I'm a little bit more like higher energy, you know, talking, where you're just very calm. You're someone that you're just going to listen and going to take in what you're saying. And you just did it the way you don't know what you did. If you listen back when I brought this up, you just did something that the way you just said it was just very calm, you know? And I was just like, that's how to talk to people, right? And I think that's going to go a long way. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out.
If you can't stay calm, you can no longer have a conversation. And if somebody goes the other way, okay, it's over. So stay calm.
Yeah,
it's more fun that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to get a lot from what you're saying, right? Because well, I agree with you that if someone gets high rate and there's a seller going crazy, if you can't calm the situation down, you can't have an educated conversation anyway. It's now a slanging match. So you need to agree with them, agree, get them to drop the guard. Now they've relaxed and calmed down. Now we can actually talk about the situation, see if we can solve the problem.
Learn that from you, the way you've talked about it. Agree with them, and come up with a question. Just agree, sympathize, and then ask them a question. Just keep moving that way. And very calmly.
Yeah, and it works. I mean, just think if you were screaming at me and whatever the problem was, I was agreeing with you. You can only scream for so long before you just say what, like, no, Harry, I agree. You're 100% right. The offer was too low. This is ridiculous. So, Harry, I 100%. I mean, this low is so low. I'm embarrassed about it. I'm sorry. You just agree, and then once it's calm, well, Harry, let me tell you why I made the offer. Let me tell you about the situation that I'm looking at this. You know, the house needs X amount of work, or it needs this. Now everyone is relaxed. We can have this conversation. But a second ago, you wanted to rip my head off. We're not going to get anywhere. So
sounds like
that's
a
really, really
conversation
good.
I had with a realtor when there was this house needed a lot of work, and they said, I want this amount of money for it. And we talked about it. And I said, well, let me review. And I came back. I think he said, well, you give me 115, I can make it work. And I came back and offered 94. And I put the wholesale contract, whatever it was, I sent it out to him. And I said, let's talk about it when I get it to you. And he said, how could you do 94? I said, simple. I went through the process of coming up with, here's the ARV, I'm going to take 80% instead of 70. I'm going to take off repairs, what they cost, and I've got to make something on the deal, and I'll settle for 10%. And okay, here's how I got to the number. And he said, oh, that's how you guys look at it. Yes.
That's hilarious.
And it was,
Well, at least he was,
fun.
but he was calm at the end, right?
He was.
You know, so that's pretty awesome. So you've been doing that. So we talked about the follow-up. You're going to break that down, and you're obviously new, right, to to the investing. The accountability, for me, and what you've done is a common thing that we want to see, right? You're going, I'm taking action. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I'm just doing it, right?
True.
Well, that's the whole point. Because guess what? The hardest thing is to take action. People want to get into education mode and do nothing. People open up the course, the lease option course, whatever they're buying, or any course, and they just watch material and they learn. And this is great. This is so much information. But the problem is no one's taking action, so you will never make any money. You acting, not having, I wouldn't say not having a clue, but not knowing all the steps, you have already now, you're way further on. So now you're gathering information while implementing it, you're going to move a lot faster than most people. I think one thing they can get from this call is exactly that. You just said it was mayhem week one. Crazy.
It took me a while to get to the point that, okay, I can jump into this. I don't have to know everything. And the idea you guys had said, you can admit that and talking to somebody, I don't know that, but I can find out for you and move on. And I was that way. I didn't have contracts. I didn't know what. Okay, so what? Jump in. I'll worry about it when I get to that point.
Absolutely. Get an offer accepted, get someone interested, and then we'll deal with that. Right.
Yeah.
And then when you make an offer, then you'll deal with what's next. So all these things, you're moving forward, right?
Yes.
To be able to get these results. So what's the goals for you? What are your goals, Harry? What are you trying to do?
Well, let's see. I started off these programs, as Joe was asking, are you in it not to lose or in it to win? And initially, I was in it not to lose. Okay, I can do this, which I did like a crazy man. But it's got to the point now that instead of just making offers, I want to make offers. I want to make better offers that I can make money on. I can do the 3 or 4 offers a day. I find that's not a problem. Let's make better ones. I'm spending more time going through deals that I'd like. This is one I can do. This is one that makes sense. It's not just, 3 or 4 a day. Now I'm doing business. That's where I am.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's great. What did you think to the app that I showed on our call? I know it's a little shiny object.
It was, and as soon as you said shiny object, I was sort of looking the other way. I said, "Oh my God, another one!" But I was doing more scraping at the time. So okay, I can't afford to buy another piece of software.
Yeah. It's we just started using it, and I think it's going to be awesome. I do, but as soon as I brought it up to that group and I mentioned it, I tried to retract.
Yeah.
And you couldn't see the comments, but I tried to not do it, and then people are like, "No, I want to see it." So I was like,
I tried not to look too hard because what I saw looked very good. To be able to go into a neighborhood and that house, tell me about that house. Okay, that's vacant.
Yeah,
let's put an offer on that one. Oh my God.
Yeah,
and have a VA.
This is
wherever and go through the neighborhood. Do this neighborhood. Here's the path you can go. For somebody that didn't pay that much attention to it out of the corner of my eye, I saw enough.
I was gonna say, a lot. So impressed. For anyone. Yeah, so for anyone listening, guys, you should check out bastion.com/Gavin. If you use /Gavin, you get 50 free skip traces and a 7-day trial, as it is right now. I don't know how long that's going to stay, but that's what they've given me to for people to check it out. I just did a demo. I'm going to do another video on it to the accountability group, and you can literally drop into any street in the United States. You can do virtual driving for dollars, select the house there and then. You can skip trace it on the spot and call and text the seller immediately. You can add it to a list. You can track your VAs if they're going to drive virtual drive for dollars for you, and they can literally have a starting point, go through the neighborhoods, stopping point. You can track where they've been, how many houses they've tagged. And I think it's awesome. It's going to be a game changer. I'm super excited about it. And
I didn't pay enough attention to write it down, but now I have a crayon in hand. Give me the name of that app again.
So it's batchdriven.com/Gavin. But don't let it be a shiny. We just talked about that. That's why I tried to stop myself.
I have too many other disciplines that I have to get this done first. My day is broken up. Okay, this is offers, this is watching videos, this is whatever, and I stick to that.
That's good.
I have to have some schedule or I'm lost.
And we're going to talk about that here in a second, because I think people are going to get a lot from that. But just really on that app as well, you can do foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, you can pull vacants on there, and actually it will show you on the map, and you can go directly to the house to pull it as well. So guys, check that out. And it is pretty cool, especially when I see my VAs doing it. It's pretty awesome. So check it out. Anyway, you just made a key point I want to pull up there. Time management plan. How easy is it, or easier is it for you to execute something that when you've already built a plan? How much easier is it to execute that plan?
Unless you have something laid out for the day, you're helter-skelter, you're all over the place. And you know, Joe did something he not long ago. I'm sorry for bringing his name up again, taken away.
No, absolutely.
You may have a list of 20 things, whatever. Pick out the one most important or 3. And that's what you have to get done that day. The idea of laying out a schedule, the same thing. Okay, from 9 to 12. I'm making offers. I had an appointment today doing the LLC getting set up today with the Prime Services. That was an appointment in there for that. And then the rest of the afternoon, I had to watch some videos, get another offer in. And then we had our 4 o'clock, at 4 o'clock here in Cincinnati, the 3 o'clock coaching call. So everything's broken down.
Yep, excellent. So I think that's important. You time block like I do. I don't do, I like to do chunk time, right? Meaning 9 till 12. The reason being is, for anyone listening, is that you don't want to run the appointments, in my opinion, like 7 to 7:15, 7:15 to 7:30, because if you get behind, now you start getting overwhelmed, you're behind. If you say, I need to do these tasks in this allotted time, it doesn't matter then the order, how quickly you do them, and you're going to get more chance of getting them done. And what you're going to look at, especially for me, I can't speak for you, Harry, but at the end of the day, I might not have hit everything, but I've done 90% of what I set out to do, which is probably 90% more than I would without having the plan.
I'll try and prioritize what I have to do in a given block of time. Can't get it all done, at least I've got the most important ones done.
Absolutely. And I think if you've not read a book, for anyone listening, The One Thing, and there's a book called The One Thing.
I haven't.
Fantastic. Brilliant. One of the best books I've ever read. And it's focusing on the one thing at a time, prioritizing just what you've said. Okay. Focusing on the most important thing, get it done, then move on to the next. Really, really good book for anyone listening as well. So good. Anything else that you want to share with us, Harry?
I'm finishing up the tail end of the marketing right now. So I have my finger in that, the 30-day marketing. And I'm in the last week of the 3 offers a day. This is the last week, so I got that going. And then I've just jumped into the simple lease options, and I looked at the quick start on that one. Okay, I'm going to put that away. I don't have time to do that. Not yet. That's
Yep.
probably going to be this weekend. I'm going to jump in, but that's definitely jumping in with both feet. Everything else has to be done.
Absolutely.
That looks like a big one. Looks like it's going to be good.
Well, the thing is as well, though, I don't know about before, but especially now, you aren't just buying courses and not implementing. I think that's one thing that would you agree? I mean, you've
Oh,
been on every call I've done. So
done that. I've bought courses in the past, going back a few years, and okay, they're very nice. I'm not going to put names in it. Some of them are expensive. And I learned all these wonderful things, but nothing about implementing or pushing. No marketing. Okay, you have the cart, but no horse.
yeah, and it all starts with marketing, right? All starts with accountability, being out your comfort zone, not having the answers, and I think that's what people are going to get from this episode is exactly that. Is the fact that you don't have all the answers. You're doing it. You're in the same position they are, listening, and hopefully they're saying, well, yeah, if Harry's doing it, then I can do it. So that's what I want to get.
It, certainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can, anybody should be able to do it. Yeah.
Yes, that goes for us all. We're all on the same. We've all got the same. We're all trying to achieve the same thing. And as you build the systems out and get more help, it's going to be better for you. And then you'll just get, when you'll look back and say, wow, can't believe it took this long. And the more the better you're going to get. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see your progression as we go through this.
It's nice. Little by little, it's making more sense. I'll review something again. It says, oh, yeah, I know that. And it was good. You guys keep throwing out little bits and pieces, and it's helping. And just how to deal with a customer, how to put a contract together, that short offer. That's been a lifesaver. That's what I've given a lot of people, either that or the one-page wholesale contract.
Yep.
Those two are all over the place for me.
Awesome. That's what we want. Then when the follow-up comes in, they should start to drop and then start making some money. So if someone, before we tie up here, if someone is struggling, if someone's new, what would you tell them? What would you tell them to do? What would be some advice from you?
Similar to what I did. Back up, take a breath. Look at what you want to do and don't get overwhelmed. I want to go from here to here. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just do it in little steps. And what do I need to do? And do that. What can I do today? Or what can I do tomorrow? And just do that.
Great. That's awesome. One thing at a time. Focus on the one thing. Again, one bite at a time, one bite of the elephant. Great way of putting it, right? Anything from a coaching aspect, whatever it is going to register in your mind, whatever scenario, situation, third party story, whatever you got to think of that goes, well, that didn't make sense, but the elephant comment makes sense, right? But it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't, you have to, when it goes, yeah, that makes so much sense. You have to do a bite, one bite at a time, focus on one thing at a time, achieve it, go on to the next.
Best analogy I had. It's so much. Okay, find a starting point and a little at a time. What you can do, a little bit of what you can do at a time, and it'll start to make more sense and it'll build.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Harry, I appreciate you getting on, and I know it was last minute and you were down, and I think this just goes with your character in terms of taking action, especially what we've just talked about. I mean, I was just like, literally, we just got off the call, you jumped on Zoom, and here we are, and rolled this episode out for people listening, because I think I like to have people on, normal people. It's not all about people that are just doing tons of deals. That's great. There's a lot of value in that, but you need to, listen to people that are in the trenches as well and learning as they go, taking action. People are going to get a lot from that, and you might not think they will, but they really, really will. People are going to go, you know what? I need to be more like Harry. And if one person does it, then it's been a success.
I really feel like I'm in the trenches, in the mud, muddy shoes, muddy everything. And that's where I am. But I keep kicking.
Absolutely.
I'm determined. I'm
Yes.
determined.
Disciplined, determined, and it will happen. There's nothing in your way. So
There's
I'm
no
looking
alternative. It has to happen.
absolutely 100%. Well, Harry, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. We'll do a check-in with you in a few months to see how you're getting on, and we'll go from there. All right.
It's nice to meet you face to face.
Yeah, thank you. I know, I deal with a lot of people, and it's good to obviously put a name to a face as well. So thank you for jumping on, and I appreciate it. Okay.
It's my pleasure. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So if you're interested in working with me as well, go to reinetwork.com/coaching, reinetwork.com/coaching. If you want to, check that out. If you want to work together, we can. And remember, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye-bye.